wish it
Hey
would have started.
everybody, welcome to another episode of Nightmare Road. I, of course, am one of your hosts, Decon the Dirty Dream. And
What the fuck did you just say?
what?
The dirty what?
I said I am one of your hosts, Decon the Dirty Dream. Out in the streets, they call me Quad D. I should be in one of those episodes of Scared Straight, like Beyond Scared Straight, and wear an eye patch, wear two eye patches, and then when the kids come through and it's like, these kids, this one wants to join the gang, and I'll be like, first of all, I can't see, but who's over there trying to join the gang? I'm Quad D, bitch. You're trying to come into my cell block, huh? And it just...
I thought I took a shot before the show.
No, I'm completely sober.
Okay.
Anyway, that's it. So, Decon the Dirty Dream. That's my wrestling name. Decon the Dirty Dream.
Oh Jesus.
And I come out and I'm like, let me tell you something, Daddy. Over here. That's just, yeah. Anyway.
And you even say daddy. Wow.
Well, yeah, that's a Dusty Rhodes thing. He's the only one, and me and Theo Vaughn are the only ones that could call another man daddy and not be gay. Be like, let me tell you something, Daddy. You're over here trying to get down. We're gonna get funky like a monkey in this here ring.
Are you sure it's not gay still, though?
I am 100% positive, and a million people worldwide that love Dusty Rhodes will tell you, if I heard you say that that's gay, I'd hit you in the mouth. So, anyway, I'm here with my co-host, Ash the Oracle.
Oh, you made that sound really mysterious.
I'm trying to make like wind sound effects, but I don't think the mic is picking it up.
I picked it up a little bit. Get closer to the mic. There you go. Good job.
And you guys can send me an email if you guys want to apply for the new host position here. You guys looking for a new co-host?
You can't get rid of me.
Just send me an email. Send me a promo. I want you guys to cut a promo on me and be like, Decon, you're out there and you think that you're so tough, and then just do the promo. Anyway, so today's episode is brought to you by... Who's our sponsors?
Which ones? Do you want me to announce all of them? Do I have to announce all of them?
Normally I announce all of them, but today you...
Yeah, because that's your job, because I don't have any of it memorized.
Okay, go ahead.
There is... Oh, God. Linear loop by body.
Wait, you got to add a personality to it. This episode is...
That's why I can't do it. I don't have that personality for Ash.
Okay,
that's
go ahead.
Your job. No, that is your job.
No,
do your job.
No. So I guess we have no hosts today, no sponsors. So what's today's episode on?
What? You can't do that.
Go ahead.
No. We're going to have to cut all of that out.
Well, I'm not. It's staying in the show.
Now you're arguing.
So what's today's episode on?
Haunted locations in the beautiful state of Idaho. It's not just potatoes, folks.
And Idaho is known as the gem state,
Yeah, but if you were to ask anybody, what's the first word you think of when you think of Idaho, they're going to say a potato.
Yeah, the Ku Klux Klan. Oh.
Or that. That's northern Idaho.
Huh?
Isn't that northern Idaho more than...
It's all of Idaho. They're everywhere.
I guess I've never seen one, but okay.
You know those spooky ghosts that are out there at night burning crosses? Those are not ghosts. That's the Ku Klux Klan. Anyway, so today's episode is on spooky places in Idaho. And people don't like when people think Idaho, like you said, they think potatoes, they think gems because Idaho has like a lava vein like flowing underneath it. There's actually a place, what is it, the Lava Hot Springs? You know,
I love lava hot springs so
so
much.
there's houses there that if you're directly underneath the vein in the wintertime, you don't need a heater because the heat just radiates upward. So in the
Hmm.
middle of winter, your front yard is green. It's just like because there's like no snow will stick. So in the summertime, that's gonna be a bitch though. But
Oh, can you imagine? You'd have to run your AC 24/7
yeah, it's crazy. Um,
because Idaho summer, it's hot.
yeah, it's pretty hot. Um, so anyway, so the hot springs, right, and then the veins and all that kind of shit forces pressure upward, so you get these badass gems. They all a lot. There's a lot of them. They all have like different names. One of them I think is called like the dragon egg, and it's like
Um,
this rounded gem that gets pushed. I think it's green actually, but it gets pushed upward. Yeah. So anyway, Idaho potatoes. We kind of went off course there. So, but also Idaho is known for its scary locations because Idaho is very, unless you're in the city, but even in the city, it's pretty rural. I
oh
mean,
yeah. If
so
you go to Boise, there's rural areas surrounding Boise all over.
yeah, so sometimes you can travel up in an hour and not see anything but farmland and mountains and
Hmm.
those failed homesteads. So you see like a house that has fallen down like decades ago, and it's because the
And it's
people on
still
the
just chilling.
yeah, they're just falling over. So what a lot of people don't know is that early in the 1900s, Idaho was one of those places where they're like, all right, well, you can have this land if you can, make it productive, it's yours. But when you investigate certain locations in Idaho, you realize that a lot of those failed homesteads, like the people there starved to death. So
Oh yeah.
so you
Well, look
look,
at the location of them.
yeah.
They're in the middle of nowhere, far away from towns. And if you're thinking, if they're broke as shit, how often are they able to get into town? Even if it was just like decades ago, they still had cars then.
Yeah, but the price of gasoline, and all that kind of shit. Also, some of those farmlands, they look really good until you take a shovel and you begin to dig, and then you realize it's all lava rock under, like, and nothing will grow. You know,
Such bullshit.
yeah. So, but it looks good at first, but you imagine
Yeah.
you move your family up there and you're like, you can have this land, and da da da, and then you go over there and you're trying to raid a plant and you throw that shovel down, all of a sudden you hear a tink, and you're like, what the
Just kidding.
and then you go somewhere else and it tink and there's tink like all over
Mhm.
and it's all lava rock and you're like, I can't plant shit
Yeah.
here. So and back then there was no like government assistance. There was no like, well, I'll help you out. No, it's like you're fucked, you know.
Yeah, sucks to be you, basically.
So along those long roads that are, you know, along those many dark roads, you have you're driving down, and then sometimes if you look at because you're driving, you're looking next to yourself, up on the darkness, up on those farmland, and then sometimes you can see, and these are some stories I've heard, that you can see like a glowing figure of what looks like a farmer, and he's
Mhm.
not just doing farm shit. He's not just like growing stuff. They say that it's a farmer and he has his hands like on his head, out there just like in the middle of nowhere, and you're like, why is he doing that? But then again, like we just talked about, imagine this guy is just realizing he's fucked, and he
Well,
just,
yeah, it's almost giving me the emphasis that he's like screaming.
yeah, and he realized that he just starved his whole family, you know
Hmm.
and
Basically, yeah.
yeah, so hands on his head,
So,
just up. And if I don't know if it's like an intelligent thing or if it's residual. If it's residual, that's gotta suck. You're reliving that same moment when
uh,
you realize you just starved your family every
mm,
day.
I've heard a lot of instances where it's like people seeing a figure in their field or something to that effect. It is residual. Like they see it often and it's always doing the same thing.
It's always just digging. It's always just,
Hmm. Because they're trying to make it work, and that was their lifelong dream, and they were never able to make it work, so they continue to do so.
they
It's so
just,
sad.
yeah, for all eternity, just trying to make it unreal.
Hmm.
Have you ever seen the movie The Others?
I love that movie. I haven't seen it in so long, though.
But just
That
the
was a good one.
just the concept of, you know, damn, that movie's so great because, you know, you're trying to identify with his family, and they're living in his house and all kinds of shit. And then they didn't realize that they're the dead ones and all that kind of stuff. Imagine you're a ghost out there in Idaho in one of these failed homesteads, and you're just living that.
Oh,
You think you're alive, you think things are going, you know what I mean?
God,
And
God.
yeah, you just think that all shit's happening, and it's like you're dead. You died a long time ago, there, buddy. So these feelings that you have are not real. You know?
Oh my God. You always gotta take it there. Jesus.
but it's dark, So when
So
you
dark.
when you look at that, kind of stuff, it just like makes you sad. So um if you guys are gonna come down to Idaho and do like a paranormal investigation, you guys end up because I think in some of those lands they're now public land because it's just so old. Fences are down. You can go down there like
Mhm.
investigate, but find out. Be ready to like probably get the saddest EVPs. You know what I mean? Like imagine you hear
Probably.
like kids crying. You hear like the
Oh,
guy and like, well, sorry, guys, we're gonna die. The winter's coming and there's nothing for us stored away.
yeah, we're all just gonna starve to death. So see you
It's
on
it's
the other side.
so those are the abandoned farms like around Idaho. There's ghost towns, in Idaho. Just
Oh, there's so many ghost towns in Idaho. There's what, Silver City? Where's that? There's one along the Montana border too.
oh, what is that? Damn.
My nail tech tells me to go there all the time. Why can't I think of it? I don't know where my phone is. I can't look it up.
Your nail tech.
Yes.
Um, so just a plug.
I'm a fucking girl, okay?
So anyway, so it's just like all these like ghost towns, and some people will go and investigate. I remember back in Utah there was one. It was called Promontory, and it was just a ghost town. You go in there, and some people say Idaho, I imagine, is the same thing because it's basically almost the same place, only Utah higher elevation. Um, but I would imagine these places where
Freaking
you
Utah.
where you go into these ghost towns, like investigate at night, and it's an operational town. Only you don't see anything because everybody's dead, but you can hear it.
I
Um,
pulled up the Idaho map.
so with Silver City is one of those places where people can actually hear because they have a mine. So Idaho has a lot of mines in
Hmm.
hopes that there was silver in them, that there was gems in it, but in the end a lot of it was for coal, for things like iron. They're valuable but not to that extent. So there's a lot of people out there that would move, they were traveling miners, and there's a place, they call it Silver City. There's a mine out there, we're going to be rich, and they move their belongings, and they realize that those mines don't have shit in them. So
No.
and again, they move their whole family. And I don't know if people knew this, but back in those days, when you moved out of your old homestead to travel to a completely different state, they would burn their houses down. Like before they left, they would burn the house down,
Oh yeah.
collect the nails, collect everything, because they're like, all right, we need the nails, because nails were back then were pretty expensive. So because they were all handmade, so they would collect those nails, and then they would start their own, they built their own little house. So these people burned their old house down, sold their property for like $30,
Hmm.
and that was enough money to get them to a different state and kind of buy a little piece of property, and now you're stuck, and you're like, damn. So these towns eventually they dry up. Some people die, in the town. Some people just leave, but a lot
I
of these.
think the one you're thinking of is Sawtooth.
Oh, the Sawtooth Ridge.
I think that's the one you're talking about right now.
So with fucking Sawtooth, they also have a tactical spork, So check out Sawtooth Tactical. They have all your tactical needs. But
You would know.
so it's a titanium spork with an edge.
Oh man.
Anyway, so yeah, so these people, they were digging out in this mine, they were doing all these things, and I need 20 men to come down with me. We're gonna set up this mine, we're gonna go down there, and then there's a giant pocket of carbon dioxide down there that no one knew. So 20 guys go in, no one comes out. And then people are like, what is going on? Well, we'll send another team. 20 people go in, no one comes out. Eventually, they're like, you can't, they didn't have the technology back then. They're like, this is a dead mine, So we have to collapse it and then move on. And
That would suck.
imagine you have no idea. Imagine being a miner back then and you're going down with your pickaxe. All of a sudden, you get a little sleepy and then lights out. You have no idea.
I honestly think the last thing I would ever want is to die at work.
I would like to die at work.
Fuck. Then what if you're stuck there?
So look at it like this, because you know how people say, they're like, oh man, I want to die doing what I love. I want to
You
die.
want to die? Just saying.
So, so imagine dying
Sorry,
doing
I'm
what
an asshole.
doing what you hate. Like imagine you're sitting there. Like let's say that you're a person that does
Please.
taxes, right? And they're like, all right, we need you to stay and do overtime because we have all these reports for you to get done because we're doing taxes, and then you just die. And then
Hey,
they're
what about like what I do? Can you imagine doing what I do in the afterlife?
like,
I
imagine
would walk
what do you,
myself to hell.
what do you enjoy doing?
If let's see. If I were to die doing something that I like, is it creepy that I'd want to die in like an abandoned building?
Oh,
A
you're built.
building that's already haunted?
So the things that you enjoy is a building inspector.
Yeah. No.
Like these beams have to come down. This area is condemned. But anyway,
No, I like going inside like old buildings and old houses and like seeing the structure, see what it looks like back then. And so being able to die there, that would be so sick.
what is
I'll
your
be stuck there.
what is your theory about how they say that um material like cedar and like oak and like those harder woods that trap energy better, so like those old houses that are made by like timber and like those hard materials that are
Hmm.
super rare now because number one, it's such a pain in the ass to work with. Number two, yes, they're more durable, but they're
Handy.
way more expensive. It's way more expensive, like getting trapped in those houses and how much energy is in there.
Oh, probably a shit ton.
That, yeah. So speaking of that, oh shit, we got to go back to the mine. So there's people out there that go and they investigate, right? And they say that if you kind of like listen at night and it's just you and you can actually hear like the town is operational. You hear doors open,
Hmm.
footsteps, places. You get to hear like
The mine tools.
yeah, like the mine tools, like
Hmm.
a lot of those is like rough terrain, so you hear like the crunching of the gravel, like
So
like
cool.
going up there, but like and you look around, there's no one there. It's like you're in a town of John Cena's. You know. Um. Anyway, so what's another one? Oh, do you know what? Probably it's like top 5 most haunted locations. Do you know what one of
Are
them
you
is?
gonna mention my favorite one?
Maybe. What is it?
Idaho State Penitentiary.
That's not what I was gonna mention, but that's up there. That's a damn. That's a place where
I've been
what
there.
what did they call it? Siberia, because how cold it
It
is.
was the coolest bill. It was the coolest place that I have ever been to, and I want to go back so bad, but nobody wants to go, so whatever.
So that place, a lot of the building was made from sandstone. So
Mhm.
it's a sandstone. So what does that mean? What does sandstone do when it's cold out?
It, huh? It does something? What does it do?
So sandstone, when it ends up getting cold, it turns like basically into a cube of ice. So like when it's outside, there's no insulation at
Um,
all. So when it's cold outside, not only
that's
are the
true.
walls not only are the walls cold. Oh, okay.
I have
Not
a
only
whole album on my Facebook of it.
So not only are the walls cold, but they radiate the cold at you. So they nicknamed it Siberia. There was a part of the building that they called it Siberia, and in the summertime it does the opposite. It absorbs all that heat and again reflects it back at you. So it was such a miserable place.
It was
it
horrible.
when did it close? Was it like 1960 something?
Um, Something like that. I can't remember when it closed, but I remember when I went there. I think I went there when I was like 18 when I was living in Boise. So that was fall. So I probably went there October, November-ish. It was literally a week after Ghost Hunters did their episode there.
That's a that's one of the places where they actually incarcerated in there the American Jack the Ripper. I forget what that guy's
Oh,
name
I
was.
think I have his cell in my albums here.
You know,
So I meant to send this to my email earlier, but I completely forgot. But I'm pretty sure I have Jack the Ripper's cell in here. Oh, yeah, it's right here.
oh, okay. That guy was sentenced to hang. So
Hmm.
they hung him and they fucked up. So they
I have a
pulled
picture
the
of that too.
yeah. So what ended up happening was okay. A couple of things that they say happened. One of the things was the rope was too long,
Hmm.
so when he dropped down, the tips of his toes can still like touch the ground, and so he
So
just had
he's
enough.
like sitting there
Like he's
struggling,
he's
basically.
struggling to like stay upright.
Oh
By the
my
way, that's how you that's how you die in a crucifixion. When you get crucified, that's how you die. Is your arms are outstretched and your whole body's outstretched, so you're
God.
suffocating under
Hmm.
your own weight. Because you're
Basically,
out.
yeah.
Yeah, you're outstretched. So basically, what he did was he was straight like this, and he was barely getting enough oxygen to stay alive. They didn't realize this because
Hmm.
they opened the thing and they walked off to go prepare for the next guy, and they're getting everything ready. It's been 15 to 20 minutes. They look over and the guy's, just sweaty, half dead because he's on his tippy toes, just like with them. They're like, ah, shit, like this guy's been. So a couple things they say
That.
happened. Number
Oh, go on. I'm sorry.
They say that one of the things they said happened was they shortened the rope, of course, so that he can actually hang properly. I like the other story where somebody came in and just like grabbed onto his waist and just like pulled him down to finish him off. Um, so so
It's so horrible. Can you imagine sitting there struggling and someone just comes up behind you and it's just
and
like,
just like and they just pull you down. I mean, but that guy was a piece of shit. So fuck him. I wish they would have like kept him dangling for an hour. Anyway, so they say
let
that
him
you
just
can
suffer.
just let him suffer, set him on fire. Just anyway. So there was there was people out there that go and they investigate, and they say that you can hear the opening, like the pulling of the lever, like the
You
and
can't. I have an
then
experience from that.
tell me, what is your
I
experience?
am not even lying. So they let us do like they didn't give us a tour. They literally, when we walked in, they gave us the map and said, go. And that was really it. Like you were doing your own tour. So I remember we wanted to go to this room first where they hung everybody. And we walked in there. And as soon as we walked in there, it felt colder than anywhere else. It really did. And that was the part I think that got to me the most at this place is just certain areas were colder.
They were colder.
And so, yeah, so we're in there and I hear this creaking sound. And the guy that I was with, he was behind me. And I thought it was him trying to scare me. So I whipped around and he was reading something that was on the wall. I think it was a part of the history or something like that. And I heard it again. So I asked him, did you hear that? And he was like, no, I think you're losing it. And so I heard it again and I was like, that, did you hear it? And he finally heard it and we both just sprinted out of there. I was a
Jeez,
little scared.
jeez, Louise. So it's just
I was young and
creaking.
scared. Yeah, it just sounded like a creaking sound, like almost like a lever. Like, you know, those old, like, hand
Oh,
levers. You know
yeah.
what I'm talking about? That's what it sounded like.
Oh, that's so weird.
It was,
Um,
this place was freaking weird when we were there.
so this place was famous for, mistreating the prisoners and the poor living conditions.
Their
Uh,
isolation
yeah.
area, it wasn't even like a room that was in the prison. It was more of a whole separate, like, if I'm remembering right, granted, I'm going to age myself on the show right now. This was probably like 15 years ago, 16 years ago. But the isolation area was outside and it was literally like a cinder block cement square.
Hmm.
And the door was also made of the same material and it was super heavy. And so when they shut that door, there's just little tiny areas where there's like air going into where they could obviously breathe. But other than that, it is pitch black in there. So it was
Gee.
completely separate from the prison.
Yeah, so it's just like a whole isolated area where
Uh-huh.
you're
Yep.
legitimately just alone. Yeah,
You are literally isolated.
people talk about hearing like screams, they can hear
Hmm.
whispering, they can hear like frightened whispering, you know.
When I was in there, I went in there by myself and I sat down in the corner and I remember I closed my eyes because I wanted to get the feel of it. I've always been into this shit. I'm a weirdo. Anyways, wanted to get the feel of it. So
Very
I was
weird.
sitting there and oh my god, we're gonna have to pause for a second. Mom, Deacon is eating the biscuits. We're back, maybe. Oh,
No, yeah,
now
we're
we're
back.
back.
So yeah, so you want to get the full prison experience, and
Yes.
you
So I was sitting in the corner, almost like in my meditation position, you know, legs crossed. Anyways, so I had my eyes closed, and it's not that I could hear anything, it was more the feeling.
okay.
Like it was almost like that feeling of dread, and you could almost hear somebody screaming in your head.
Huh.
That kind of rhymed. I should rap. And you should beatbox more often. We're gonna get your record deal, I swear to God.
Wow, thanks. Um,
No problem.
so damn. So like when you say like they screaming, did they give you like the urge to like want to scream?
Not so much that. Like, have you ever woken up from a dream or a nightmare where somebody was screaming in it and you wake up and it's almost like you could still hear it?
Yeah.
That's what it was like.
Oh, that's weird. Have you ever
Yeah,
had that?
that's the only way I can describe it. It was really weird.
So um, when I was a kid, I had this dream that I was walking down this hallway, and there was like this old man that was like trying to talk to me, and he was like, and I couldn't understand what he was saying, and I was like, "Gay," and it was like so vivid, and I was like, "Gay," and he's like, and I was like, "Gay," and he's like, and I get close, and I was, and he grabbed my arm, and I remember I woke up, and I could still feel like the coldness in
Ugh,
my arm from him like grabbing me. I was so
no,
like I just had that experience. Like it was just bizarre because I remember I waking up and
that is very
I could
bizarre.
feel like his hands like on me, but they were cold. Like that spot was cold.
No,
Anyway,
I could not.
and I
Yeah,
just remember he was wearing a fedora and he was like,
fedoras are the shit, though.
"Yeah, I have some."
I love fedoras.
Um. All right. So anyway, so moving up.
Anyways,
So moving on. Um. The Shoshone Caves.
I've been there too.
That place. You know what's interesting is, do you remember the name of the Shoshone princess that supposedly died or something in there? She has like her name sounds so made up.
Okay, so I'm gonna be really, really honest with you here. Okay, are you ready for this?
Sure.
I was drunk, so I don't remember the story.
You were drunk? Jeez. Well, there's that. Okay,
We
let's see.
stopped at a gas station on the way and I grabbed myself a couple of twisted teas and I poured it into my hydro flask. And
Okay,
it's the
so
big one. So
her name
I
is
drank a
Ida.
lot.
Her name is Ida Howe.
Yeah, that's
Ida
it.
Howe, a Shoshone princess whose ghost assists to haunt the Shoshone ice caves in Idaho. Um, so she was
You
buried in
want
a
to know how
cave.
they make those very kid friendly though when they're doing the tour?
How?
Okay, so I do remember this part because I remember I busted up laughing so hard because they told her story and then they were like, "Oh yeah, kids, this is also where Olaf from Frozen lives."
Really? Why would they say that?
And my daughter was like 3 at the time, and I remember I looked down at her and I was like, "Well, okay."
Which one's Olaf?
Olaf's the snowman.
Okay.
Really,
Yeah.
Frozen is great, and you need to rewatch it.
I think I watched clips of it.
Olaf is awesome. Anyways, though,
So
but those ice caves are cool.
yeah, there are also a lot of people are saying that they're kind of like a funnel of energy. So you go in there
Yeah.
and then you can kind of feel like almost I know I've described this feeling a lot, but some people say that depending on what time of the year it is, when you go in there, you feel like when you go to a concert and you're like, oh, there's a concert nearby, and you just feel like
Like, yeah.
and the guy's over there, he's like,
Well, yeah. It's just don't do it like I did it, guys. Go get the full experience.
well, I mean, if you want to communicate with the Lost Indians of the cave.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I did it right in a sense. Anyway,
So anyway, eat a
I have
how.
another haunted Idaho Native American story.
Tell me, what is it?
This one is from the Fort Hall Reservation, and it was
Oh,
actually a kid I went to school with.
okay.
So I just remembered this as you were doing the Shoshone ice caves, and I pulled up the messages in my Facebook. So I'm gonna bring it up. I got this message back in March of 2020. Shout out. All right. So he said it was 2009. A couple of his buddies asked him if he'd been to see and hear of the water babies on the river bottoms of the reservation of Fort Hall. He told them no because he thought it was all fake. So they took him down there and something ran in front of their vehicle. Couldn't quite tell what it was. So started to get a little freaked out just because, they're going to see the water
Yeah.
babies, probably already scaring themselves. So they turned the headlights out towards the sagebrush and they saw that it was just a wild horse. So they start heading down the road more. They cross the bridge, and that's where it said that the water babies, that whole situation occurred in Fort Hall when the moms threw their babies in the water. Anyways, so as soon as they got on the bridge, all of them, they had the heater on, had chills and goosebumps. There was a little roundabout kind of thing across the bridge.
Did they get out of the
And
car?
well, it was kind of a parking lot for people to untie their horses. And so the moon was, he said the moon was shining off the water. You could see that it was a full moon. He was like maybe a quarter moon. I can't quite remember, but we got out, stood by the truck, grabbed a beer out of the cooler,
It
typical
was a
Idahoan.
quarter moon, and the moon was shining in the water. We pulled
Yep,
out some beers.
typical Idaho.
And then Idaho showed up because she wanted a drink. Um,
Anyways, as so they're telling the story of the water babies, okay, while they're standing by the water where it happened. So
he didn't know the
they
story?
started, huh?
He didn't know the story?
No. I think maybe somebody tried telling him the story at one point, but he was like, I don't know, that's fake, whatever. That's just how this guy was in high school. I don't know how he is now. I haven't talked to him in years. Anyways, so they could hear what sounded like a faint scream. Okay. They thought it was just wildlife, but they started to get a little superstitious. They started hearing coyotes and stuff like that. So, but they kept on hearing the screaming sounds. So, hearing the coyote sounds on top of the screaming. So,
Yeah,
like that yipping.
yeah,
Well, he said it almost sounded like a muffled scream, like someone doing this and
yeah.
screaming. And so he was pretty well convinced of the story at that point, and they all decided to leave after like 5 minutes of standing there. So as they're pulling back on the road, they're about to cross over the bridge, and their truck shuts off.
Oh,
There's
geez.
no power, nothing.
It's like a typical
So
scary
they
movie.
get so they get out of the truck, pop the hood, and the battery cable was off of the battery, but they didn't hit any bumps or anything to cause that to happen. So he hooked it in, they hooked it back up, got in, closed the door, and then something hits the passenger side door.
Oh, shit.
So that's where he was sitting, and he looks out the window and he said it looks like the ghost of a Native American 2 to 3 month old baby. All three of us saw it. It was really faint, so we turned the headlights to the right side of the road, didn't see anything, and we got back on the highway and headed back to Pocatello, got out at the gas station to get some gas, and there was a big dent in the passenger door with horsehair on the door handle.
Whoa.
Isn't that wild?
That is a wild story. Yeah, some people say that
Yeah.
you go out there at night and there's a full moon. You go out there in the river and all you hear is and
Oh,
this
is that
and then huh?
what the hell was
That's a newborn crying. It's,
almost sounded like a goose?
so and then you hear a splash like splashing and then it keeps going. You know, and then
What newborn babies?
so a baby crying at the top of his lungs. So anyway, so you hear
Right.
so then you hear the splashing and they're like, holy shit. So you hear the sound, right? And you hear the sound, and then you hear the splashing, like violent splashing in the water. And then you get close because you want to investigate, like, holy shit, a kid fell in the water, like something's going on. So then you get close enough to the sound. And then in some versions of the story, you can hear like giggling,
Hmm.
like the giggling of a child. And then you're like, what is going on? And then a little hand will reach in and pull you into the water and drown you.
Hmm.
I have a story. Okay. So,
Uh-oh.
when I was younger, so the water baby thing is, is everywhere. It's not just like an Idaho thing. It's not just,
Everywhere.
so it's everywhere. So, like you've heard of, I've talked about her a lot, La Ciguanaba in El Salvador.
Hmm.
So La Ciguanaba, she also mimics children, like babies. And if she's near a body of water and then she's, in the baby form and you get close enough to kind of help the baby, she'll reach up with like her grown gray clawed arm and pull you into the water and drown you. So when I was younger,
So creepy.
so when I was younger, we lived on this farm in El Salvador, right? And there's like a small river. It was maybe, I don't know, like maybe 6 feet, like wide, deep. I have no idea, but it was pretty deep. So, and it was like this drop off. You had to get to it. You had to go in the dark, and like because as soon as you're walking on the farmland and then you start getting into the dense jungle, one of the things that you notice is that the deeper you go, it starts getting dark, like it's dusk. It's the sunlight
Oh, yeah.
not penetrating through the trees, so it's dark.
Hmm.
So, and then there's like a drop off, maybe a 20-foot drop, and then there's the little river. So they always said like, hey, don't go there. So anyway, this was maybe like 7 o'clock at night, you know, 7 o'clock, and I'm playing by like the edge of the farm, and I'm doing whatever the hell I'm doing. So I start
Keep
like
on doing decon things.
just doing
Don't
decon
ask
shit.
questions.
Yeah, doing dirty dream shit. So I start getting like closer into the jungle, and then I can hear like a baby crying, and I can hear this baby crying.
Creepy. No.
Yeah, so just anyway, so you hear this baby crying, and I remember I was confused. I'm like, all right. So then I'm like, did somebody abandon a baby by this little river? So I start
Oh.
scaling down, and the dirt is loose. So you have to follow the tree roots because they're solid. So you're kind of grabbing onto the tree roots as you're coming down, and the gravel is loose. The dirt is loose. So you kind of have to like kind of at an incline like this. Otherwise, you'll slide all the way down. So I'm kind of
Oh.
going, and I'm trying to get down there, and then I can hear laughing. I can hear like a little kid laugh.
Was
You
it
know,
me?
it was no, it wasn't you.
I'm
How old are you?
I'm like 5 months younger than you.
I'm 44. Anyway,
No,
so
you wish.
um, sometimes, so yeah, I'm 55. So anyways, I start sliding out, and I can hear like the laughter of a kid, and I was like, all right, is there other kids here? They're not supposed to be on this spot. So then I'm like, I'm gonna investigate further. Finally, we had a worker. He was an old man. His name was Don Lencho. So he was like this. I remember he had a beard. He had like a big hat. He was just an old guy. He's the guy that would walk around the property at night and kind of like throwing salt around the edges of the property to kind of like protect it from evil shit. And so he was like a wise old man. He'd go out there at night with his
That's
machete.
awesome.
He was like, El Cadejo was here last night. It was over here. I saw El Cipitio that way. It was there for the ashes. And it was all kinds of, he had like different stories, and he would tell us these scary stories. So anyway, I'm going down, and then he whistled at me. He was just, and I like look up, And then he told me, come on. So I was like, okay. I'm like, I'm gonna tell him, and then he's gonna help me come down here. And then he's like, come up here. And I go, why? He's like, I saw La Ciguanaba through the bushes, so I would stay out of there. And I was like, holy shit, And
You
I
almost died.
and I never had the balls to tell my father that I was going deep into the jungle into that little river because I heard a baby cry because he had warned me before through stories.
Yeah, he probably would have been like, "You're an idiot."
Yeah, so and that's how they tell you. They warn you about certain things by telling you scary stories. When I was a kid, so and so, your cousin, your brother, your whatever, heard whatever. They tell you these scary stories, right? And that was like how they. But I was like, somebody needs my help. So he ended up telling me. He says that he told me that he saw La Ciguanaba and she had like her back to him, and she like went into like deep, like into the bushes, like into the jungle, and just like dropped off like into that little thing, and she dropped off. So he's like, yeah, stay out of there. I saw La Ciguanaba like not too long ago. And I was like, holy shit. And then I remember as soon as
Oh,
I heard that, I got chills that went from like my toes all the way to the top of my head. Just because I was in there, I was going down. I just needed to keep sliding down to get to the river, And then I heard the
yeah,
laughter, and I was like, "Holy shit, there's a kid!" So anyway,
not okay. No,
so that's it. How the hell did we go from Idaho to Central America? Um,
that was you.
that was me telling a story. I think people enjoy it. If you do enjoy it, let us know in the comments. So, anyways, we have to close out the show earlier. So, do you have any other stories?
Um. Oh, no, I told that one on the podcast before. Well, my cousin thinks he saw an alien spaceship land in Idaho once, but he also said he was smoking horse shit that day too. So,
So yeah, that's like the person that they're like, oh, I'm just gonna do shrooms, and I go, why? And they're like, because they can't test for shrooms. Like you could do
well,
shrooms, come to work, and I'm like, well, when you're rolling around on the floor thinking that you're covered in spiders, I'm pretty sure the cat's out of the bag. Um, so so they don't need a test for it.
well, my let's see. Are there any other scary stories from Idaho that I know of? I think we've pretty much told them all,
Well, we haven't
at
told them
least on
all, but
this episode and
yeah,
other episodes
there's
combined.
so much. Idaho is such a
Idaho's creepy.
it's a yeah,
What in
definitely.
the hell?
What?
I look away for 5 seconds and there's a Jesus. Can I hold it? I want it.
The what?
Let me play with it.
The what? Oh, the knife? Oh,
Don't let me. Just
yeah, go
kidding.
ahead.
Don't. No, that's a
Um,
bad idea.
oh yeah, go ahead. They'd be like, what happened? There's so much blood. Anyway, so that's about it, guys. So this episode was brought to you by Loot by Lottie. And
Silver Witch.
Loot by Lottie, type in the promo code Nightmare and get 15% off any order above 30. Just get the medium box, guys. I'd say this to these people. I'm like, just get the medium box. And I'm 100% sure that if you order the medium box, next thing you know, you're going to be ordering the $50 box because you'll be like, there's so much shit, in this. I want
I
more.
know. I
So,
really need to order me another one myself.
so do
I
it.
need
Use
some more shit from her.
use the promo code Nightmare, and then you'll get
And
15% off.
mine one of her necklaces.
Oh, that's the one you had custom made, ain't it?
It is. I chose the charms and everything.
Oh, that's pretty cool. See, people. Also brought to you by Special Olympics Special. Also, brought to you by Groceries and Ghost. So, Sean Burris, the Ghost Man. Hey, everybody, the Ghost Man here. Remember, guys, I am not getting older. I'm just getting better. Stay spooky because I love you. Anyway,
We need to
so
get him back on.
I know he's asked me, and I'm just yeah. No, we could have had him back on.
Do I need to do it for you?
Go ahead. I don't care. Um,
Oh,
so
God.
so Shadow
I'll
Nation
do it.
Shadow Nation podcast. Shadow Nation podcast on YouTube, and shadownationpodcast.com. Check out his show, Groceries and Goes. He's an excellent storyteller. So check that
Mhm.
out. Also, Paranormal Unveiled. Uh, static voices. He has hit what?
Just the way you say it.
Static voices, sexy Nate. He had his show yesterday. It was a full house. You guys check that out. It was a full house. It was crazy. It looked like a Congress. Anyway,
Hmm.
so go ahead and check that out. Like and subscribe. Also, Dreamscape Chronicles. Check them out. Great people, great show. You guys can check them out on Spotify. Dreamscape Chronicles. Shit, we might leave a link in the description. I don't know. What else?
Probably should.
We should. What's the other one? Uh, Darkness Unveiled.
You know who you are.
You know who you are. Jeez Louise, I am exhausted. No, it's paranormal. I'm getting Nate's show mixed up with the other one. What? What's funny?
Oh, that was just awesome.
No, it's
We're such a shit show.
we're not even done. Render the Darkness. You guys check them out. So, Render the Darkness podcast. Like and subscribe. Check them out. It's all good stuff. So, are you okay? What the fuck's happening?
I'm just dying. It's fine.
Cough really
Choking
hard
on my.
right now.
No, I'm choking on my own saliva. It's okay. I'm alive.
Cough super hard.
No.
Also, T Public. Go ahead and get yourself some merch. It's all good shit. That's about it. So,
Yeah.
like and subscribe, share the show. If you know anybody that has ever heard of Donald Trump, send them the show. It's a great show. It's the best. Oh, water babies. They said, wow, look at, they all wanted to
We
come
need to
with
get
me.
Donald Trump on the show. Do you know how funny
Oh,
that would be?
oh, that would be so good. I'd be like, yeah,
That would be so hilarious. I'm gonna
so have you,
email him.
so the house, the Amityville house, I was there. I told Bathsheba, you're gay.
You're gay.
You're gay. I said, wow, she's gay. Anyway. So that's about it, guys. So remember to always look both ways, especially if you find yourselves on Nightmare Road.
Good job. Okay, bye. Maybe. Yeah.